All right, welcome back, all of you members, for my top 10 in 10. This is going to be my top 10 books for this week, just based off of some of the price increases, some of the volumes, and some of the sales, things that are jumping out at me, and just kind of following up on some of the books I talked about on the Wednesday watch list. So just see what the market's doing, and just kind of my quick little heads up to you guys before you get all the other top 10, hot 10 list out there from all the other other providers out there. This one's mine. So if you find it helpful, let me know what you think of it. If you'd rather these be numbered, I can try to rank them if you wanted, but I don't know if it really matters so much. Like, oh, it's the number one book or not. You can see why things are hot, and I explained to you why they're hot, whether it be by volume or by price. So I don't know if the numbers really mean all that much, apart from some sort of, I don't know. But you let me know. If you'd rather have them numbered, I can try to work on that for the next time. But I appreciate the feedback, and take it under advisement and see what I can do with it. But if you want to see what books I have for you in my 10-minute rundown, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back. Alrighty, so let's get ready for our top 10 in 10. Let me get the countdown ticker going, and let's get this started. All right, so we are off. Starting off as we did last week or so, I'm going to do a follow-up on some of the books I talked about on this past Monday, the things we're looking ahead to see what was going to happen. And we're going to start off with the Purple Rain homage. I gave you my feelings on this. I just feel like I've seen this too many times recently that I just was over it. I still like it. It's pretty well done. I did order one. Actually, I think I ordered two just in case, because maybe if this does increase in volume, I'll give one away to one of you guys soon, because we are getting close to 2,500 subs. So we will be doing a giveaway soon, as I keep mentioning. Plus, I'm going to be doing giveaways on Dollar Bin Digging. More details on that. If you guys didn't already watch this week's episode, go back and watch Dollar Bin Digging. That all said, let's just stick to the top 10. This book, it was cover price for most of the week. Pre-selling, it wasn't really selling for all that much. So going into this Wednesday, it was just selling, well, actually Tuesday, because it's a DC book, but you know what I'm saying. Going in ahead of release, it was just selling for cover price. Since there's still plenty of cover price sales out there, you can get it on online retail shops, like Midtown still has them for cover if you were looking for one. And that's where I bought it from. But you can see some increased sales for like $10 to $15 have happened, but that is not the norm as of yet. We'll see where this one goes, but for right now, it's still really hovering right around that cover price mark. And like I said, there's copies out there, because I don't think this snuck up on anybody. I've seen this coming for a while. I mean, we also the FOC, so I think there are plenty out there. But I could be wrong. We'll see what happens as the weeks go on. Another oddball book, and this was the oddball one I told you about. That was the 1 in 5 variant. Here we go. This Monsters of Metal, this number 3, this small ratio incentive for this oddball title. There was that, I don't think there was any sales. There was that one like listed. It was basically like, double cover. It was like $10 or something like that, because this is like a $6 cover, $6.66 actually. But I was like, I'm curious how many places are actually going to order this. And now here we are, following Wednesday. While there aren't a lot of sales, you can see a couple of copies up and available, and the asking prices are what I would have expected: $14, $20, $30. Will these sell for these prices? We'll see. But I find it interesting that there we are. Once the week hits and these books hit shelves and people see how hard they are, they start asking for a premium. So here's the next book. The next book I told you would probably be hard to find on a shelf, and it probably was. Granted, I didn't get to go to a shop this week because I was just too busy doing the content stuff here for you all. But Vampirella, I told you this Bruce Timm cover was pretty cool. The 1 in 10 with that border is fine, but the 1 in 15 Virgin, I don't know how many people ordered 15 copies of Vampirella Strikes number 11, but there were none really going at the market like when I put this up and I was talking about this just on Monday. But now that we've passed the release day, there was a sale heading into it for $15. Like, it was like, okay, big deal. March 21st, one sold for like $15, which is basically a ratio. Yeah. But we look, after Wednesday hits, a copy sold on the 22nd, which was Wednesday, for $100. Yeah, I know what you're saying. That's only one sale. But there are other copies listed now for $50 to $125. So these are all well above that 1 in 15 ratio. So I guess this isn't that easy to find, and people are asking some increased prices for it. So there it is. Told you something like this was probably going to happen. Granted, a lot of the other things I talked about, like, they didn't go up all that much. I was like, well, they're not. I didn't really expect them to. Those 1 or 200s, but some of these things do hit when they become hard to find. Once the day actually hits, pre-sales give you a sense, but don't tell the whole story. Because as you see here, pre-sale was ratio, after sale, $100. That said, let's look at the 1 in 25 second print that, again, not a big fan of these things, and maybe the hype on these is dying down. Maybe not every one of these Marvel 1 in 25 second print incentives is going to hit, because this one, while it was pre-selling before Wednesday for that $60 kind of mark, now after release, yeah, it's hit 55 and a $32 sale, but with the UK shipping, it's still about that $55. It's still close to that mark, but it's still under. It's not increasing, and there's not a lot of movement. There's not a lot of copies available, but we'll see what happens. I just don't think the fervor is there anymore for these ratio in second prints like that Invincible Iron Man, which actually there was no sales the past week, so I was going to do a follow-up on that, but none have sold in the last 7 days that I saw. So we'll see where that one ends up going. But with that, we're about halfway through, and our next book is one of the 1 in 25s I told you about. The Bill Sienkiewicz 1 in 25 for the Milestone. This one actually is outperforming. Well, I can't say outperforming because there's a 1 in 50 as well, but there's not a lot of sales data around it. And there's still some at auction on those on eBay, so we'll have to see where those play out. But for this one, pre-sales, $30 to $100. Kind of inconsistent going into the week, going ahead of Tuesday, because again, DC book. So going into Tuesday, but after Tuesday hit, we've seen copies sell for $70, $85, $110. Now, when I was looking just today on Midtown, there was actually a copy, at least a copy. It was listed available for $45. So if you were interested, that's still more than ratio. There's a copy there, but 45 is still cheaper than some of these most recent sales have been. Will this price hold? I still don't know, but I found it interesting that Midtown basically restocked on that one because it was sold out when I did the watch list on Monday, but then it was back here on Friday as I'm filming this. So well after Wednesday, did they pull it off the shelf? Like, did nobody buy it off the wall? And now they put it up online? I don't know, but they had a copy or copies available online that weren't there earlier in the week. Just thought that was kind of interesting. And again, you see what happened with the price. So keep an eye on this one as well. Some talk about Mandalorian season 3, the character Fenrir is going to show up. So it's caused this Kanan 10 to start selling. About 30 sales over the last 7 days, which is not a small number when you talk about eBay sales, because this isn't a new release book where some people buy their new release stuff using eBay, which is still kind of odd to me with all of the online retailers that offer you discounts if you just pre-order with them. Why you would do it through eBay? Anyway, you shop how you want to shop, but that's it. Kanan 10. This thing with 30 plus sales this week is still selling for like $30, $35, which is at a bump up from where it was, the previous few months. I mean, this book was, like a $15 oddball first, but now a little bit of increased exposure and some people talking about it as a possibility of a character showing up. So the first appearance is obviously spiking a little bit. Just like we found out that in X-Men 97, Mr. Sinister is going to be the big bad of the new animated series. So interest is renewed in Uncanny 221. So there was more than 40 sales this past week. Again, this is a classic key. This is a book that we've all known about for a while, but interest just started driving this to start moving copies this week. Prices are, kind of inconsistent too, because depending on grade, they're not out of the realm of where they've been. So it's not so much a price increase as just the volume is moving. So $20 up to like $76. So depending on condition and grade. Following up on others that were on last week's top 10 list, we had this Punisher 218, which is still selling. There are multiple covers. I showed you the Punisher, the photo cover, the 1 in 25. There's still more than 40 sales this past week, which is down from where it was last week, but it's still a good number. That's a good volume mover for this book. So it's still, churning out copies. And here, just in case, because I didn't show you these last week, there is the I can't think of it. I can't think of the word. It's not acetate. The moving one, the lenticular. That's it. That's the word I was looking for. The lenticular cover. That is the homage, as well as the second print that shows you the book underneath. So both of those are also in this batch of what's been selling. You can see here where the prices are. Still like $50 raw. You can get that lenticular a little bit cheaper, under 30, and then 9/8 in the regular there, up to $250, which is a pretty significant bump, I think, when you're thinking about it. That's just the cover A or whatever. But that all said, keep an eye on this book, as well as this book is still selling, which is The Punisher, crossing over with Daredevil here. These two going head to head. Still more than 50 sales this past week on this book. So this thing is still moving. Again, prices aren't spiking that much. It's just the volume is still there. So anywhere from 15 to 60 bucks, depending on condition, this thing has been selling. And I'm tired of talking about this book, but for some reason, this book keeps selling too. More than 70 sales still. Are the people just trading these? Are they buying them and then reselling them immediately? I don't know. But Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man has had more than 70 sales again this past week. It's crazy to me that the volume's still there. People are still buying this book. And it's still right around that same price. It's about 20 bucks for the most part. It's about 20 bucks raw. And people keep buying them. It just keeps churning on and rolling on. And with that, that's the 10 for this week. Hopefully you found it helpful. Hope you found it interesting. Like I said, let me know if you want me to rank these by number. But otherwise, thank you again to all you members for all the support. I appreciate you all. And yeah, I got this done in under 10 minutes. So I think I did my job. And with that, I'll see you guys soon with some more content. All right, later.